What's up? It's Luke, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can start your social media marketing business here in 2022. And the reason why I'm making this video is I've seen some of the bigger figures in the space. People who have gone on to build their multi-million-dollar coaching businesses, and the information that they're putting out, some of it is a little bit out of touch. So I wanted to give you an in the trenches look at what's working right now to start your business, get clients, serve those clients, and the windows of opportunity that are actually open for you here in 2022. Because let's be real, a lot of them have closed up. There's a lot of different things going on inside of Facebook and Meta ads, YouTube ads, and Google ads nowadays. So you need to know what is going on right now, how you can get clients today, and how you can build a six-figure income from scratch. Now, before we get started, know that I have a more in-depth presentation for you over on 5secretkeys.com. If you'd like to learn how to build a six-figure online income from scratch in about 90 days time, go check out that free presentation where I go in depth on a step-by-step approach for how you can do that too. Now, without further ado, let's dive into today's presentation on how to start your SMMA agency, your social media marketing business here in 2022. Cool. So the first step, as in pretty much anything you want to undertake in life, you want to start off by studying the game a bit. You've heard that ancient Chinese saying that every battle is won before it starts. Well, that's definitely true in the social media marketing space. Most people fail before they start because they don't approach their social media marketing business correctly. Personally, whenever I start a project of any kind, even if that's physique building or getting the girl of my dreams, I first like to imagine what my daily workflow is, like how's that reality going to show up when I'm there? And then I like to reverse engineer that. So before we actually talk about how to start your SMMA business, let's break down what it will actually look like when you are successful, so you know if you even want to do it, and then we can strategically figure out how to get there. So here's what your day will look like if you are at about $10,000 per month, or roughly six figures take home after taxes. One, you're gonna wake up and see one or two sales calls scheduled in your calendar for the day. At this level, you probably don't have a sales team. You're probably doing them yourself. You're gonna be responding to a few emails from prospects. You're gonna be trying to convince them to take a sales call with you. You might have an email or two from clients requesting a response or telling them what work needs to be completed for them. Maybe there's a few fires to put out, but it shouldn't be that much at this level. But the majority of your work is going to be spending 3 to 4 hours per day writing new advertisements for your clients, designing new landing pages. If you're doing something like lead gen or helping somebody with their e-com sales page, you're going to be designing those sales pages. You're going to be writing email automation sequences to handle the leads and sell the leads that you're generating for people. You are going to be possibly interacting with a virtual assistant for help with small graphic design tasks or data entry. Like if you're doing cold email campaigns, you're going to want somebody to help you find the emails of the business owners that you're trying to reach out to score as clients. At this level, you might have a call or two with clients each day, at least at the beginning, but it should be pretty low maintenance in terms of face-to-face time with your actual clients. That should not require a lot of your time. Now, at the $20,000 to $30,000 per month mark, things change a bit. You're going to wake up, see 3 to 5 sales calls booked for the day. Maybe you've got 1 or 2 salespeople with you at this point, and you're going to assign 1 or 2 of those calls to your salesperson. You might be spending some time training that salesperson at this level. You're going to be responding to emails from prospects, trying to convince them to take a sales call with you pretty much always until you surpass that $30,000, $50,000 mark. Of course, people do things in different orders, but that's pretty much what I was experiencing at this level. Now, you're going to be responding to an email or two, maybe having a 60-minute meeting with your full-time virtual assistant to tell them what they need to do in order to serve your new clients. You are going to spend most of your time brainstorming on how to get new prospects on the phone with you. At this point, you're going to be creating new advertisements for your agency to attract more prospects. So you're going to be shifting away your time from working for the clients here to moving into working on your lead generation process for your own agency. At this level, you're going to have a virtual assistant or a graphic designer building out the marketing funnels to 90% completion on their own, and you will simply need to finish them up or review their work if you have the process standard operating procedured out. If you have SOPs for all of your actions, then you just do a quick review or you maybe have somebody else in place who's going to do that review for you. So you can pretty much just say, okay, green light, go, turn on the system, let's get the work active and serving the client. At this level, you may have a call or two with your clients, but for the most part, your assistant is going to be handling the client communication for you over email, and your clients know that they need to interact with the assistant to request tasks. Every now and then you might need to pop on and maintain the relationship, but in terms of exchanging information that are requests for your time and things like that, that's going to be handled for you at this 20 to 30K level. So I think that's a great level to aim for. And just so you know, like that is how the days break down at these various levels. So if you're looking at that work and that doesn't sound like something you could do or you would want to do, then probably turn away right now. That is the life of a social media marketing agency owner at the 10K level, at the 20 to 30K level. That is what is going down. If you want to be whining and dining clients, that comes later. Personally, I stopped at the 30K a month mark, so I can't teach you that. But if you want to learn that from somebody else, feel free to go look at some of the bigger guys. If that does sound good to you and that sounds like a way that you'd like to earn your money, let's reverse engineer how to get to these points. Next, let's talk about what you're probably really after. This is how to get your first clients into your agency. So to start your social media marketing business, you need to focus all of your attention on getting your first clients. Do not make the mistake of planning out exactly how you're going to deliver the service. Too many people who get into that mode get stuck in procrastination paralysis and never end up making any money. You can worry about serving your clients after you get them. Trust me, you need your cash first. Do not mess up the order in which you do things. So to get clients into your business, you need to learn three things. Essentially, how to get a client to book a sales call with you, how to close the client on a sales call, and how to service your clients. So let's break down how to get a client to book a sales call with you. From a high level, let's start off with the acronym AIDA. AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. So first, you must grab the attention of your prospect simply by showing up. You wouldn't believe how many people simply do not show up. So what do I mean by showing up? Well, you can show up in their phone by calling them or texting them. You can show up in their email inbox. You can show up in their social media feed, in their LinkedIn messages, in person at their business as a walk-in or through social events by networking. You can show up in person by a piece of physical mail. And later, as this metaverse stuff develops and gets accepted by our society, you can show up in their hangouts, and probably there will be some awesome opportunities to show up and advertise to them there. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how to use each of these channels to generate clients in later videos. They each require about 5 to 10 hours of breakdown, but there's really not that much information to learn about these things. In about 5 to 10 hours of a course, you can pretty much get the gist of the skill, and then it becomes going out there, doing it, experimenting with it. I will share you some strategies later for that. Moving forward in our AIDA acronym, we are on interest. So next, you must generate interest in receiving the message that you are attempting to communicate with them. In order to generate interest, you must understand the fears and desires of the prospects and appeal to them. Your message must communicate that you have the ability to help them avoid pain and achieve pleasure. Pain for the average business owner can be described as losing money and or missing out on opportunities to make more money. And pleasure for business owners is usually an opportunity to make more money and or save money that can be allocated for a better use. Also making and saving time. I would say the big takeaway here is your potential value to the prospect needs to be apparent within a few split seconds of the interaction with your communication. This is where a lot of people screw up. So for example, if you're cold calling someone and you know you have 10 seconds or less to get them interested, don't say, "My name is Luke, I grew up in Dallas, I went to the University of Arizona," before getting into your pitch. You're better off saying, "Hi Jim, you don't know me yet, but I'm gonna help Bob's Burgers add $1 million to your revenues this year." Sure, they're gonna be skeptical, but in this scenario, you've just earned yourself another 10 seconds where the first approach will get the hang up immediately. And even if they're nice and kind to you, they're going to want to hang up, and the rest of that conversation is basically going to be clouded by that initial non-professional approach, and basically they're going to feel like you're wasting their time, and it probably won't end well. Now, the last part of this AIDA acronym is going to be desire and action. So your communication needs to generate the desire to take action. And in this case, that's booking a conversation with you where you can pitch them on becoming a client. In order to motivate someone to hop on a sales call with you, 3 things need to be in place. One, they need to believe that you understand their current situation accurately. Two, they need to believe that you understand where they're trying to go. That's either their goals to achieve something or a goal to alleviate a specific problem that they have. And three, they need to believe that you might potentially have the skill sets, the system, the software, or the network of experts that can help them achieve that goal. All of the marketing hacks, the tactics, the social proof, the case studies, all of this stuff is in order to achieve these three things in your communication, to get them to believe in these three things, to believe that you can solve their problem. So that's the only reason why people put featured on Forbes, featured on, etc. It's to show people, to increase their belief that you can actually help them. So anything that you can include in your communication to help them believe in you and your potential, that is going to help them go ahead and schedule a call with you. Next, how do we close the client on a sales call? How do you actually get the sale? How do you actually get the client to pay you? So one thing I hate from the other gurus is that they'll teach you to learn sales, but they'll send you off reading basic sales books. So if you've ever heard from somebody, go get good at sales, go master sales. I hate that advice because it's not specific to the goal that you're going to be undertaking, especially when we're talking about social media marketing businesses. We can point you in a better direction. So instead of telling you to get good at sales, I'm going to tell you you need to get good at Zoom sales calls. And Zoom sales calls, in a nutshell, are very predictable and they are easily executable. On a Zoom sales call, you're gonna start out by building rapport. This is gonna last about 5 minutes. It's a very quick part. A lot of people spend 30 minutes on here or get hung up way too long here, and it ruins the sales call. Essentially, you're gonna do some quick small talk. How's the weather? Just basic stuff like that. And the thing that really helped me out was finding one or two things you can relate on. Do you have a dog? What kind of dog? Oh, I got that same kind of dog. My cousin had that same kind of dog, right? One thing that you can relate on. Here's a little rapport hack in general. If you can find something to relate on that most people would not relate to them with, then it's going to set you apart and give you a little bit of an edge in terms of that relationship. So if you've got a unique interest, like let's say you guys are both into elite levels of biohacking, like using neurofeedback to train your brain, that's going to be something very specific, and that will go a long way in terms of building rapport. Probably the most important part of the sales call, this is where you will make or break it, it's going to be diagnosing the problem. So immediately a lot of people jump into what it is that they have to offer, etc. If they ask you questions about what it is that you do, ignore them, ask them questions to diagnose what their problem is. So you're going to ask the questions about what's their current reality of the business, what's the current reality of the life of the business owner themselves. And basically you're going to prove your competency by asking questions only an expert in their field would be able to ask. So for example, when I was pitching kitchen remodeling services, I would say things like, oh, have you worked with a Facebook ad specialist in the past? I bet they brought you in leads that were worth $30,000. You probably hated that, didn't you? Because I know that your projects probably start around, what, $65,000 for a master bathroom remodel, $80,000 plus for a full-scale kitchen remodel. And just simply by asking them that question, they knew that I knew the industry, I knew the business better than all the other Facebook ad experts that approached them that day. Next up, you're going to recommend your solution to their problem like a doctor who would prescribe medication, right? You're going to do a quick breakdown of what you do, how you can serve them, how you can treat the problem, and then you're going to tell stories about how it works in the real world. An example, Jim at Bob's Burgers did this with us and he went from blank to blank in 30 days, right? I'm going to tell a story about the remodeling company that I helped score their first 6-figure kitchen remodeling deal by running their Facebook ads, and it happened in the first 2 weeks. We got them 10 leads. The leads cost $100 each. They closed 2 of the leads. One of them turned out to be a $100,000 project. They were over the moon, excited, and they doubled down, hired a new project manager, and started to expand their business, right? I'm going to tell a story about the benefits that they got from using our service, from using us to solve their problem. Next up on the Zoom sales call, you want to invite them to move forward with your recommendation. So this is where you are presenting your offer. This is going to be your pricing, exactly how it works. You're going to state it. You're going to shut up, let them decide. Usually they'll come back with an objection or two. You should be prepped to handle those objections. On your first couple clients, you're not even going to know what the objections are. But as you do these sales calls and you find out what people object to, write them down, come up with your response, try out the response. If it breaks that objection, put a check next to it and use it the next time. Okay, you're going to find about 5 to 10 objections most of the time even less, and there's really not anything that's going to go out of that scope. So you can be prepared to handle basically any objection, but you've got to do at least 30, 50 sales calls before you even know what these objections are. If you've done things correctly, you can collect your payment there. So basically that's the sales process in a nutshell. As they're paying or directly after they paid, I typically explain what happens next. So I'm going to say, oh, you're going to get an email from me in an hour or so, and I'm going to share with you the next steps on moving forward with our project. So I'm going to give you a Google Drive link for where you can submit your photos for us to advertise on Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to walk them through exactly what's going to happen, when the next call you're going to have with them is, when you're going to launch the campaigns, et cetera. Give them a clear roadmap for moving forward. They want to be led into the next steps, and they want to know that you are in control and professional. The easiest way to do this is to prepare a sales script that's 2 pages max. I'll make another video diving deep on this, but essentially I like to include about 5 headers on my sales call script. It just says rapport, diagnose, recommend, invite, next steps. And each one has maybe 3 bullet points max. Just a quick reminder. So for example, under the rapport header, I would have relate to them in a unique way if you can. I would literally just have that reminder under that. And this is all I use for the sales script. That's all I recommend you should use too, even if you are a pure beginner. I don't recommend you script out paragraphs. It never seems to work. I've coached lots of guys on sales, on Zoom sales calls specifically, and the paragraphs and scripting it out too detailed never works. If I'm going too fast for you, I've got a link in the description of this video where you can download this whole mind map in a PDF format so you can see these bullet points and go back later. The third step in getting your first clients is how to service your clients. And the reason why I put this last is because 99% of your time should be spent on learning how to generate clients when you start. It's been recommended to me by multiple multi-millionaires that 99% of your time before you are at $1 million in revenues should be spent on sales and generating new clients. So if you are under $1 million in personal income, you should be focusing on 99% of your time on sales and generating new sales opportunities and closing those sales opportunities. So if you get some clients and find someone to pay you, you can definitely scramble and make it work. Every single successful person I know operates this way. There are 0 exceptions. I don't know any successful man or woman who has planned out to perfect execution before taking action. Everybody that I know who is winning in life, they act on ready, fire, aim instead of ready, aim, fire. Okay? Ready, fire, then aim later and correct your movement once you've established momentum. Just to hammer this point home, if you keep taking courses and procrastinate and develop your skills for years before getting started, you will miss this window of opportunity. It is closing fast here in 2022. It is still a great opportunity, but I would say probably after this year, it's going to get much tougher if you do not claim your stake in this soil. The 6-figure skill stack that you can use to claim your stake in this soil is to first figure out high ticket business to business Zoom sales call techniques. Remember, sales first. We just covered this. I shared with you my basic sales script. You can use that today. Next is lead generation landing page copywriting. Whether you are operating your own business through a brick and mortar business, an online company, whether that's a coaching company, a social media marketing agency like we're talking about today, you're going to need to learn how to write copywriting, which is the words on a page that is going to convince somebody to read these things and provide their contact information so you can call them up or hop on a Zoom sales call and sell them. When you get even more advanced, you can figure out how to write words on a page that get somebody to put their credit card information in and pay you on the spot. The next skill that a lot of people outsource too quick, in my opinion, is basic landing page design skills. This is going to be figuring out which templates to use inside of ClickFunnels or lead pages, and figuring out how to figure out the colors, how to figure out the spacing, figure out the graphics and how the words are going to lay out in a way that actually is functional and gets people to convert. This skill set has given me a huge advantage over my competitors in the various markets because I don't have to wait for my designer to finish it, right? At the beginning, when you don't have enough money to hire a team, it's great to be able to pop out pages really quick for either your clients or yourself without having to go through a third party. Next, whether you're generating leads for yourself or your client's business, you're going to need to figure out how to follow up with them over email marketing and convert more of the people who did not convert immediately and convert them later. It's been said that 15% of people in a given market who opt in are ready to go ahead and purchase right now. The other 85% of people who opt in are going to need some nurturing, going to need to learn how to know, like, and trust you over email marketing or retargeting ads through social media platforms before they're actually ready to buy. Last but not least, possibly the most important next to sales is going to be how to craft a high converting video advertisement. It's no secret that videos outperform image ads these days. In most of the cases, some cases, images are going to convert better, depending on the platform. Google display ads, you can't put videos in there yet, etc. But video advertisements, how to shoot a quick clip and edit it in Canva. You don't have to do these big video productions that are going to cost $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 to make. You can shoot quick clips from the comfort of your apartment and make them convert into millions of dollars. If you learn how to write a great video script, learn how to put together a high converting video that you can use on Facebook or YouTube advertisements, you're going to be leagues ahead of your competitors. You're going to be on the quick road to six figures. All right, buddy, I'm not going to leave you hanging there. So we're going to move into the action steps. So how do you actually use what I've just taught you to go out and get yours? First, you want to select your niche. I'm probably not the first video you've seen on social media marketing businesses. You need to select a niche. You can't just hit the world at once. You got to select one type of person, one type of business owner, and select one problem that they have and go out and solve that one problem. Probably the best problem to go ahead and attack at the beginning is going to be making the person more money. Getting them leads, generating sales for them. The reason why this is the best is because it is the easiest to demonstrate your value and easiest to explain to the business owner why you should be paid handsomely for your efforts. If you help them make $100,000 this month, they're happy to give you $5,000 or $10,000 of it, depending on their profit margins, but they're happy to give you a cut of any money that you can directly point to and say, I helped you do that. Some of the best places to get started, people overlook this all the time, but does your family have a business? Okay, even if your relationship isn't the best, or maybe you don't like the type of business that much. I did not think that remodeling was a good opportunity for me. My parents' business was failing at the time that I was working construction for my dad. I hated working construction, but I looked and I saw the opportunity to go ahead and bring them some leads, and I tried it out and I got some beginner's luck and it worked. Do your family friends own a business? Does anyone in your network or at your church or anyone you know own a business, period? Okay. Extend yourself out. Look at the branches of your network, friends of friends. Ask your most successful friend who their most successful friend is and try to get introed into their business. Last, I would say, do you have any interests or passions in money markets? For example, one of my best friends, he loves cars, so he started running ads for car dealerships. We touched on this briefly, but you want to choose your service. I recommend these four right now: Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, and LinkedIn ads. When you are doing paid advertisements, you can point, okay, hey, we spent $5,000 on these ads. It made you $100,000. Give me my cut of the profits, right? If you're doing social media management, it's harder to figure out, okay, these posts turned into this much money. And if you're doing that type of service or even SEO, it's hard to justify you getting paid because you cannot directly tie your efforts to more money for them. Next, you want to start your outreach. So first, we got to select a channel. I recommend you start with one, master it, or at least get some results on it. If you don't get results on one of these three, cold calling, cold emails, and walk-ins, you should probably stick to it for a bit until you get a result. For example, if you start cold calling and you just can't figure it out, don't jump to cold emails before you figure out at least one client. At least get one client, generate some sales calls before you move on to the next. I personally recommend you start off with cold emails. Cold calling can be extremely discouraging at the beginning. You face a lot of rejection and you really don't need to. Cold emails are a beginner-friendly way to generate clients out of thin air. Next up, you want to craft your first hypothesis. This is your call script. This is your cold email template or a script for walk-in. You don't want to be going in and doing a random approach every time you reach out to somebody. You got to figure out what works. You got to act like a scientist, do scientific experiments where you've got a control, you've got one variable to test. For example, let's try sending out 100 emails that look exactly the same. You're basically just swapping out the custom information to make sure that business owner knows that email's customized for them. But then on your next 100, maybe you try a different approach. So if you tried short emails, the next one, try longer emails. If you tried a humorous subject line on the first attempt. Try something a little bit more serious or a little bit more financially oriented. You want to build a Google Sheet for tracking your experiments. So do not just keep this all up in your head. Have a Google Sheet. Do at least 100 of your chosen method, 100 walk-ins, 100 cold calls, or what I recommend, 100 cold emails before you test that next variable. Again, write down what you learned. The most important step of this is taking the learnings and feeding them back into your next approach. An example, let's say you're reaching out to car dealerships. Did a lot of them tell you that they were running low on inventory? Well, on your next email, lead in with, we've got a proven system to restock inventory, right? Take what you're learning in their responses, feed it back into the top of your marketing, and use that as a feedback loop to increase your results. And don't stop doing this. Even as you start to become successful, continue tracking, continue testing. If you're not testing, you're dying. Last up, if you'd like my personal help with starting your SMMA marketing agency, go ahead, book a call with me. But to do that, you're gonna start off by watching the in-depth presentation on how to generate more leads, more sales into your business here in 2022 over at 5secretkeys.com. Once you watch that presentation, you'll be able to book a call with myself or somebody from my team to see if you're a good fit for our group coaching program that's designed to help you make 6 figures from your laptop, or if you've already made 6 figures, to help you make an additional 6 figures this year from the comfort of your own home using social media marketing as the main generator for sales and leads into your new business. As always, if you liked the video, show me with a like, subscribe, share it with one of your friends. You can comment down below if you have any future video suggestions. So thanks for spending some time with me here today, and we will talk soon.